Thank God this is being videotaped right now. This is a story about human nature. I want to read you guys something, because this just came out.
Question, were you happy with the way you were portrayed?
I think it was accurate.
Why can't you be like your kids?
Keep that on tape.
Yeah. What do we got?
Bothers you so much, don't shake your head.
So I will make one comment.
Let's bring in one of the subjects of Bucks County, USA, Paul Martino.
I got my Versace on in J-Lo's honor tonight. I've got all my. Hey Lee, how we doing?
Paul, we're in Park City, Utah. Yeah. In January for the film festival.
What's wrong with
It's freezing outside.
It's a foot of snow.
Can you explain why we're here?
Derek, as you remember, in COVID, there were very few people in the United States more responsible for keeping schools open during COVID than me and a group of people we empowered. A lot of mad dads and housewives and working moms who said, I need my kids to get in-person education. They're getting screwed here on virtual. And we got the schools open. And I kind of thought it was all going to go away. But then what happened is my family got attacked because our school board candidates were in power, and the people that got knocked out of power, they didn't like that a lot. Yeah. And it got very nasty in Bucks County. And a documentary filmmaker, a guy named Bob May, said to me, I want to document what's going on here in Bucks County. It's like, Bucks County? Why do you care about what's going on in Bucks County? He's like, look, you're in the purplest part of the purplest, most important state in the country. People pay attention to what happens in Bucks County. And the way that the school board meetings have come in to be WWE fights, right? We were both in the sports business, right? I mean, literally, people pick up chairs and throw them at people. And he said, I want to film this. And my wife, Arthi, and my son, Zach, and Vanessa, we agreed to be in the film. And you know what? We spent 3 years of our lives with the documentary filmmakers. Wow. I'll tell you how close we got to them. Vanessa, for Christmas this year, made presents for the crew. Literally, like, the guy was like in tears, like a boom mic. He's like, wow. And that is what the hopeful, exciting part is. As much as the vitriol of the school boards is what's the backdrop of Bucks County's USA, there's a hopeful story about seeing the humanity in the other side. And when your daughter can do that for the boom mic guy, there's a lesson in that. Yeah. Zach, I have a great line. Mm-hmm. The only thing worse than woke policies are woke snacks. Can't eat this stuff.
I was looking at all these things and I tried one. I'm like, what is this?
What is this? It's it. Hardest working guy in town.
Get out, hey.
Lee, get in here.
How are you?
Get in here. I got two of my best friends here, and I mean that. And always, in Utah, it's always good to have a drink. Because they make it difficult to have a drink in Utah. All three of us are in a film that debuts tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. called Bucks County, USA. The film is about what happened post-COVID with school boards, in particular our school board at Central Bucks, that Dana Hunter was the president of at the time, and Lee Vlasbloom was the vice president of. And I was the evil mastermind who got the people elected. And so how many friends, we made a lot of friends in Bucks County, didn't we, is what we're saying.
We made a lot of friends.
We made a lot of friends. I tell you, I might have told you, I got a donation to the Satanic Church in my name the other day. So we still,
I wasn't aware.
we still get some nice hate mail to the house. Nice. How does it feel to be here, knowing what you went through for the last 3 years of your life is going to be on the screen for everybody to see tomorrow morning?
Well, I mean, it's a little PTSD. I mean, we're not going to lie. To relive all of that, it's not easy. It was hard to live through it the first time. To see it played out on a film is difficult, but good. I mean, it's good for the story to be told.
I really am looking forward to seeing what the reaction is of those that view the film. I have a great hope that it will continue to be fairly portrayed, and that is my hope, because I do think the first two episodes were fairly done, and I'm very anxious to see what the reaction is.
Bucks County, USA is premiering tomorrow at 10 a.m. in this section, and
Yay!
very excited for that. How they framed it around two teenage best friends, Evie and Vanessa, here. And just very incredible young ladies who understand the concept that you can still be best friends despite opposing political beliefs. You can still love and respect one another. My hope with this project is that our audience at the festival here will really understand that. And if even a few of them do, it will definitely be a success. So
I'm excited that this film is at Sundance, and I'm excited because I've now seen the first 2 of 5 episodes. And you know what? Bob did exactly what he promised me, that he would portray it as it happened. I didn't want to be portrayed as good or bad. I just wanted the facts to be told. And when the facts are told, guess what? You know, us on the right, we look pretty damn rational. So I spent almost 3 years in filming with Bob May. And the first year and a half, I would say all of filming was focused on me. And then my wife decided to run for school board, and there was a little bit of a focus on her. But about halfway through, Bob May decided a really critical decision, which changed the course of the film, in my opinion. Your daughter, Vanessa, who we agreed to have my daughter, Vanessa was about 13 at the time, be in it. He's like, your daughter, Vanessa, was wonderful. And you know, Vanessa's best friend, Evie, is, you know, daughters with your political rival, Leela Casey. I was like, yeah, oh, I know. Trust me, I know. We always make sure we take the kids to the movies together, but we don't talk politics. And the kids come first. And then he asked for more time with Vanessa. And then he asked for more time with Vanessa. And then Bob eventually said to me, he's like, I think we're going to focus more on the kids than the adults. And so my daughter's friendship with her best friend, Evie, in spite of their parents being political rivals, actually is the literary device of the film.
So it can't be a story from the right or the left, because those folks are all cemented in those positions. And so our idea was, we want to tell the story from both sides, no bias on our side, and just let the folks tell the story in their own words. The only way we'll grow is to hear the other side.
What's going to be fun about Sundance is I'm bringing a crew. I'm bringing an entourage. It's going to be fun. We have some other school board members. Mike Milo is coming in, who ran for school board in Allentown, has a crazy story to tell. He and his husband are coming, and he's got an interesting story to tell about how he would knock on doors and get told, get out of my house because you're the anti-gay bigot. Always interesting when you're the gay guy.
Mike, you also told me a story. It's I think one of the most interesting phone calls I've ever gotten in all my involved in politics. Yeah, so I was at another door, and I gave my information only at this point, and my information said that I was a candidate who was for Parents' Choice. Right. So the lady said to me, she says, "Oh, you're one of those Parents' Choice candidates." She says, "I cannot vote for you. You know what Parents' Choice means, right?" Right. And I said, "Yes. Parents' Choice means that I am for the parent being able to have a say in whether their child is going to school in person, learning online, right, wearing a mask, not wearing a mask, having a voice in the curriculum that's being taught." And she says, "Oh, no, that's not. You want to whitewash the classroom. No LGBT, no minorities." And I said, "Ma'am, I happen to be LGBT." I said, I don't know. And she's like, well, I mean, and then here comes the stumbling. At an emotional level, explain this to me, because this is the part I can't quite get. I get the story, but emotionally, you've knocked on somebody's door. They basically tell you you're the anti-gay bigot on the ticket.
100%.
And then you tell the lady, by the way, here's a picture of my husband and my 2 kids.
And one on the way.
How's that actually make you feel?
Well, what it made me feel was sad and sorrow for the woman telling me who I was. I was really kind of sad because here I am telling you who I am. It makes me laugh.
Mike is a candidate that I backed, right? Oh, Paul Martino and all the school board members that got elected. Mike, you got pretty rational points of view. You believe parents should be involved. I mean, you believe that, you know what? Being nice to your fellow LGBTQ member is probably a good idea. Right? I think you're probably on board with that. And so what's fascinating here is that the reason you and I are both here at Sundance this year is the film Bucks County, USA is premiering literally here. And one of the key themes of the movie was, if you just actually listened and found the humanity on the other side, maybe you could have got along a lot better. And so I'll tell you what, the thing that I'm optimistic or excited about, as much as that's what happening when you're knocking doors in the 2023 election, it's January of 2025, and a place that is known to be as left-leaning as Sundance is actually embracing this message that it's time to actually listen to the other side. The fact that a film like Bucks County, USA was accepted and is now one of the premier films demonstrates that, hey, maybe some people are waking up to say, you know, that guy knocked on my door a year or 2 ago? maybe I should ask them in for coffee instead of accusing them of being some awful person, right? That would have been nice. I invite a lot of people to go to golf. Why not? Let's just sit down and have a cup of coffee and talk. And how many people do you think have taken me up on that cup of coffee?
Mike, you know
None.
what? I'm going to tell you, I took you up on that a long time ago, and that's why we're still friends.
100%.
My mom told me one day, it was over the summer, I was coming home from a summer camp, and she was like, hey, after your summer camp, some guy is going to come and interview you for his documentary. And I was like, okay.
All right, guys, let's get a shot this way. Come on, hippos. Vanessa, I'm so proud of you. You were so good in the movie, and your friendship with Evie is remarkable. As everybody says, you guys set the right tone for everybody. I'm so proud of my little hippo.
Oh, thank you.
I've been in the media, I've been in the press, I've been vilified, I've been lauded. I've had articles written about me. I was on the daily podcast on the New York Times. I'm a regular contributor to the Varney show. Like, I've done that. My daughter is 15, introverted girl who, when she found out that the film was going to Sundance, said, Daddy, can I stay at school instead of go? And so if I do have a concern, my concern is about her and her being comfortable in front of the camera. So I think one of the key messages from the filmmakers, and this is what they promised us when we agreed to be in the film, was that this was not going to be a political film. Politics were what was discussed, but this was a story about human nature and being friends in spite of differences. And the filmmakers absolutely did their job.
That's what this whole documentary is about, is like, let's stop talking at each other and understand we're all humans and talk with each other.
So that's a pretty profound change, and we're hoping the rest of the country can start having some of that same kind of healing. It is hard to get to the end of the 2 episodes and feel like anybody you disagree with is not a person you'd potentially want to go get a drink with. And I think that's an amazing achievement for this film. We got invited by the filmmaker to be on the stage after the preview, both Arthi, my wife, and my daughter Vanessa. I do have concerns, and I've gone to some extraordinary lengths to make sure that I have some media training in place for Vanessa, that I've hired a publicist to help her, because I want her comfortable. She has a compelling and wonderful story to tell, but she's never been through anything like this, that I promise you. So if I have a worry, it's about that. All right, hippos, we gotta go. Sit next to you guys then. Okay. So Leela, how about we get the 2 girls right in the middle, and then we'll go on one side, you guys go on another side. We got 7 seats right there.
Well, first I'll say the movie was amazing. I did not know what to expect, and I think you did it on purpose by not telling me about it. And so when I came in, the range of emotions you will go through watching this film, and we were only 2 episodes in, right? That's right. 2 episodes in, I laughed, I smirked, I cried, I did everything in that time frame, and you were amazing because you were you, right? Like, sometimes people get behind the camera and they feel like they have to become somebody else. But I thought what was so authentic in the story was that you were just being you. No cameras around. You can tell you are your mother and father's child. You have that in you, and it was really good to see throughout all the turmoil and talking back and forth and political views and left and right, that there were 2 kids in the epicenter of this that might have gotten the whole story right from your perspective, right? And I thought the most impactful line that you said at the end was, one day we will tell the adult story. I thought that was powerful. She did a great job.
That's what I'm talking about. You saw the movie before, you knew it was coming, but what's it like when it's on the big screen and you've got 500 people sitting behind you? How emotionally, how did you feel?
It's a very left-leaning festival, and I know a lot of the stuff I said would not resonate well with some people, so I was sitting next to Evie, and we were like holding hands, and whenever I was on screen or I said something that I knew wouldn't resonate well, we kind of like... We did that.
Cringed a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. You saw where I was sitting there. You were just a little bit behind me. So I was sitting next to Evie and Vanessa, and Evie's mother, Leela, was sitting next to Evie. And if you saw at the end of the episodes 2, they put a teaser on for episodes 3, 4, and 5. And in the episode, zooms in on Leela, and she just goes, "He's such an asshole." And so we all kind of look at each other and just start laughing because literally our daughters are holding hands while that's what's on the screen. Like, again, I'm not even sure how to respond to it, but you gotta just chuckle a little bit about that's what's coming next.
Yeah, I think when you look at the film, you should watch it from the standpoint that every parent on that film wants the best for their kids.
That's right. That's right.
That's the nutshell. If you scrape down all the layers, every parent wants the best for their child. And that's why you got into it, is because you noticed that your child was not developing at the rate they should being home.
That's right.
And so you said, what can I do about it if no one else is doing anything about it?
Right.
And I know you are a solutionist, a problem solver, and you say, listen, where's the problem? Let me go solve it.
Please come up to the front of the auditorium.
Any questions from the audience?
I am a mess inside because what this film, the series did, is it took content away. The national standards are vilified. Parents are elevated. What I see, sir, when I listen to you, I see something very different. And I'm
sorry, sir, we have a lot to get to.
I
You
know.
have a question? I appreciate it.
Thank you.
If that flag that bothers you so much, and that sign bothers you so much, don't shake your head.
I'm feeling sick of it. Rather than, hey, we're winning or we're fighting. Why can't you be like your kids?
Is that a question?
And suddenly it's liberals are destroying America. It feels so abrupt.
Can I comment? So I will make one comment. I was ready to go home, and I know some of the people here will disagree with this. We were successful in the school policies around COVID, but you know what happened? The public sector's unions decided to run ads about what an awful person I was, literally turning it into a personal battle. I was literally ready to go take my ball and go home, but they decided that they were going to make me a villain and my family. So what should I have done? Should I have just gone home, or should I have actually gone into the fight? Yeah, right. So you've clearly watched the movie then, seeing that the humanity in the film is what this is about, given your response. But what's crazy to me is you attacked me. That is the start of this. That's the craziest part. And I guarantee the rest of the crew can explain the sequence by which that happened. What's that?
Those guys are so mean to you.
You know, they clearly they clearly understood the theme of the movie.
Sorry, there were more actual questions.
Yeah, it's too bad. Brooks, man, we got stuff to do, man.
Yes.
I'm so happy you're here for this.
You guys been
I mean,
through a lot.
I appreciate it. It's good that the audience got the message of the film.
I know. That was what I really just wanted to say, like, did you guys just watch it?
I mean, seriously, bro, like, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I actually think it helped, with the point.
No, it was actually almost comic, and that lady's calling me for shaking my head. I'm shaking my head, I'm like, did you watch anything?
Well, there's more to come, as we said, right?
We know.
More to come.
I just want to say thank you for sharing your story.
Oh yeah, I'm glad we were able to do it, hon. I'm glad you got to watch it.
Were you happy with the way you were portrayed?
I think it was accurate. And that was what the filmmaker promised me it would be accurate. And I gave an interview, and that was the interview. I was like, I don't care if you like me or hate me, tell the story as it happened.
Sorry.
And that's very hard for a documentarian to do.
Yeah. So you thought it was accurate.
I was like, look, that's what happened. Good, bad, and otherwise.
We just wanted to say, if you'd like to come out the other exit, I'm happy to.
Oh, no. Fuck no, I appreciate the offer, though. You're my kind of guy. All right, let's grab everything, Zach. You're hostile territory. Oh, no. My friend Seema told me that. She's like, Paul, she's like, you got balls to go in there. I was like, yeah, fuck, I don't care. I'm like, I'm glad you watched the movie. I'm glad you paid attention to the themes.
Great job. We really enjoyed the whole thing.
Appreciate it. Where are you in from?
I was very disappointed at the end when you said, should I just get up and leave? And they were saying yes. I'm like, oh, just listen.
Did you just watch the movie?
We just watched it for 2.5 hours.
And the irony of it is, they think they won that argument, but their behavior. I didn't actually need to say anything.
No,
all I needed to do is just go.
Yeah.
And the lady hollered at me for shaking my head. I'm like, yeah. I've dealt with you before.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, we should have our opinions known and be able to talk about it without being.
Isn't there also a little bit of an irony? We were all up there together, just FYI. Like, was it not lost on the audience that we were all here?
Right.
All of us were here.
Right.
And we still don't like each other in some ways, but we were all here, right?
Film about school board meetings devolved into a school board.
It was unbelievable.
And it wasn't even nobody even asked about the film.
And I'm just even laughing. I'm like,
hey, great.
You should have taken your ball and go home. I'm like, yes, that's democracy. That's democracy at its finest.
They are okay if you take your ball.
I know.
It was hard for me to sit through.
I know. We lived it, bro. Wow, we having fun yet, Zach? Ay. Robert, that Q&A was as disheartening as anything. That was more disheartening than any part of this whole process.
It'll change. It'll ebb and flow.
The thing that's so painful about all this is the way that they took that issue to turn it into a weapon, like they did. They literally did. But they needed a way to discredit everybody. It's the same as me, dude. Come on, you just don't let it get to you, man. We never have. We never have. And we're not going to start today.
All right.
We're not going to start.
I'm going to stand on that rock right there.
We ain't gonna start today, Mike, because we could have started a long time ago.
Ooh, Lord.
Right? And you have to not back down.
Because if you don't do it again, then they know that they just bullied you out after 2 years ago.
Look, the irony of the question I answered on the Q&A will never hit the person who asked it.
Correct.
Did you want me to take the ball and go home?
We got an urgent phone call here.
Yeah. What do we got?
And this is America's Late News. Well, the famously liberal Sundance Film Festival is taking a bit of a right turn this year with the screening of the first 2 episodes of the docuseries Bucks County, USA. Let's bring in one of the subjects of Bucks County, USA, Paul Martino.
So it was really exciting to be there because the film is actually about trying to understand the humanity in the other side.
Right.
And that is a very human message. And I think it's exciting to see that the people in charge of Sundance realized how important this message was.
It's this coming together theme, so to speak.
That's exactly right. And look, we were there, and the people who were there, we don't all like each other. Let's make no doubt, but we all showed up.
Yeah.
We were all there. We were all on stage after the film.
Right.
And what was the funny part, Trace, was it was lost on the audience, because I, of course, got asked a mean question by the audience saying, basically, why did you do what you did? And I'm like, well, me and my family were attacked is why we did what we did.
Yeah.
And I was like, what did you want me to do? Take my ball and go home? And they're like, yeah. So I did get reminded that it was a largely lefty audience that day.
Is the left, do you think, becoming more tolerant? I know they called you out a little bit at Sundance. Do you think they're becoming more tolerant and coming together a bit under President Trump?
I think this time around, they understand that the resistance needs to be different, right? Last time it was just outright resistance. Now it's like, wait a minute, this guy won the popular vote. Maybe, just maybe, I misunderstood something about this being an actual movement and that people actually believe, as opposed to this was a one-time quirk that happened because Hillary Clinton wasn't the right candidate.
It's fascinating. Paul Martino, thanks for coming on. Best of luck to you, and I hope they welcome you at Sundance for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
With this 17-year-old millionaire that's like unruly.
The audience reaction I wasn't surprised by. Disappointed, but not surprised by. I want to read you guys something, because this just came out in IndieWire. IndieWire reviewed our film.
Oh.
Okay, I want to read this to you out loud. They were in the audience today.
Okay.
After all, that's where right-wing venture capitalist Paul Martino lives, the self-appointed leader of the local conservative movement, who Leela says manipulated our school boards in an enormous way. Martino, a balding, paunchy venture capitalist, makes for an easy villain, like when he brags about installing 160 school board members by spending $500,000. And I think it's interesting that the review will be about my physical appearance, because that shows you who the adults in the room are. Can you believe that that's what passes for journalism? I mean, you've got to be effing kidding me. You're a journalist and that's what you wrote when you saw the film today? We are at Sundance and we got the River Horse and we got Park City behind us. And Robert was the belle of the ball today, showing off his new film, Bucks County, USA. Robert made a promise to me and my family when we decided to be in this film that he would do everything to portray the events as they happened. And I was thrilled to be in the audience today with my good friend Derek. You got to see the film for the first time. And you know me. Yeah. Now you tell me, was that me up there or somebody else?
I mean, you are you wherever you go.
Well, look, I mean, the bottom line is, I've spent a lot of time with you. I've spent a lot of time with both sides.
Yes.
And I said this earlier, I really have not, we haven't talked to anyone that I didn't see the humanity in.
Yeah.
And most of the people we talk with, they're literally arguing over the same thing. Yeah. They're coming at it different ways.
Yeah, yeah.
And honestly, the idea of being able to talk to one another without judging one another is what I hope someone takes from this.
Yeah.
But it's really hard. We've arrived at this really hard place.
Yeah.
And I think the way to kind of counter it is to listen more generously, not speak on top of people,
Yeah.
and just take it in and then respond.
Yeah.
And then to have a spirited disagreement if necessary, but to treat each other as human. And I absolutely see Paul as human. The school board elections and all that, to me, that's not what this is about at all. Like, that's the motor of the series, but the actual story is about the people and the families. And one of the things I've told you, and I've told Leela as well,
Yes.
that, you know, despite sort of the attacks that both of you have endured, the fact that you allow your daughters to be best friends. Without any conditions, best friends, and allow that to happen and allow their relationship to truly bud as best friends is, I think, remarkable. And I've said this publicly before, I think you're both ahead of the curve. And then the fact that you allowed your daughters to be in this story, knowing that we're going to be talking to people from both sides, I personally feel it's a remarkable trait. It's very important.
I appreciate it. Robert, I'm going to finish it up with a thank you. You know, I'm a big boy. I've been through this stuff before. I've been on national TV. I played this game. It's real different when it's my wife, my daughter, and my son. And you promised me that Vanessa would always be taken care of, that she would always be treated fairly, that she'd always have someone around her. And in particular, your co-producer, Ginger Smith, one of the most wonderful human beings. I think my daughter will view her as an aunt the rest of her life.
She calls her Aunt Ginger.
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for doing right by my family and my daughter most specifically, Robert. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It really was.